Oh yeah, baby. Welcome. Hello, babies. Hello. Babies. Hello, babies. Hello, babies. Babies.
Welcome to JARCAST episode 72. Is
that the number?
Yeah, that's double 36.
And that's half of
144.
what?
72 is half.
Oh, I thought you meant. Okay. Well, Jim's already gone.
Oh, Jim's already come back.
He portaled in
7
with some
hours
smoke.
have passed since Jim left.
This is the episode where James is in a strop again.
Don't you mean every episode?
For once.
God.
I wasn't here last week and now I'm back for the JARCAST episode.
Yeah, he wasn't here.
I was here.
And that will be my topic when we get around
I was
to
the
it.
only one here.
I was here. My topic involves me wearing this shirt. It does, and I'll explain why when I get
So who are we going to start with?
James.
Let's roll the dice. Jim, stand up. Put your hand on the man. Okay, Ruben goes first.
Oh. Good to know you think I'm a man.
We're all men. I should have done it to argue, really.
So my story goes back
For
to...
fuck's sake, I keep spilling Guinness all over my white shirt.
So my story goes back to like the 2nd of June. We recorded a podcast on... God, he's just smashed that to bits.
Sorry, what?
So then, yeah, it goes back to the 2nd of June. I believe we recorded a podcast on on the 3rd of June.
Yeah.
So the day after the thing. What happened was I was falsely accused of assaulting someone, committing actual bodily harm unto another human being.
To the police.
To the police.
Yes. Give some context of where you were at the time, how it happened.
I was at my university. I was at Royal Holloway. Any of you that follow my Twitter, you might have heard me say, like, well, I'm not there now because I changed course, and I changed too late into the term for them to say, right, okay, just switch over. So I hadn't been there for a while, but I went back because I'd kept up with the friends I'd made, you know, and I'd gone to the summer ball, and that was like a £75 ticket event. Like a big deal, you know? It was the end of the year, summer ball. So everyone's going around in suits and shit. Just everyone's wearing suit. Everyone, literally everyone wearing suits.
Even the ladies.
Nope. Yep. Maybe some of them. I don't know. I got ejected too quickly to know. So I go there, and there was like musical events. So there was Nadia Rose, who I didn't really know of before, but the name seemed familiar for some reason. Chase and Status, who I knew of anyway, and High Contrast, who I knew of because of the song of his, which is in Trainspotting 2.
Yeah, the opening.
So I was like, well, that'll be neat, you know, I'll go. So I go, everything's fine. I get there, I'm in the crowd, you know, been there like maybe a little bit, I don't know, it was like 12 by the time I was in the crowd at like 12. Stay in the crowd. It's hard to actually retrace it properly because it's just like fucking shit. And I hate it, and I try not to think about it very much anymore. But I bumped into someone, so I turn around to look at them, and then the boyfriend shouts like, "That's my girlfriend," and grabs me, saying, "What the fuck are you doing?" And at this point, I have him trying to hit me and push me around, and his girlfriend trying to hit me, successfully hitting me. And then, you know, I push him off of me, and this is the great bit, because I was holding a bottle. He then decided to phone the police and say that I had hit him over the head 3 times with a champagne bottle. If I'd hit anyone over the head 3 times with a champagne bottle, that would be a lot of damage, and like
You'd be fucking dead. Let's be real. 3 proper hits with a champagne bottle to the head.
Champagne bottles are pretty big,
Yeah,
heavy.
And they don't
heavy.
smash, do they? It's not like in
No.
movies.
Well, no, 'cause
No.
if it's
It's
the bottom
huge,
of the
yeah.
glass,
Yeah.
it's hardened.
He
It's
was
like
saying,
that
yeah,
thick.
he was accusing me of holding like the neck of the bottle and using like a club on him.
You won't- the-
His
the way,
story
you just-
is that I bumped into his girlfriend. Okay, hang on. His historic version of events is that a mixed race, 6'2", muscled male, no facial hair and a receding hairline, which is nice, just attacked him as soon as he questioned, "What are you doing?" That's what he says. He said, "What are you doing?" to me, which is complete horse shit. So yeah, I mean, I'm like telling it like as if I was in the interview again, but
Yeah.
because I had to have a police interview. I had to wait a week for that to happen, and it was an awful week. And then I had the police interview and told my side, and I had like a friend who saw it all, or 2 friends that saw it all, well, a friend and his girlfriend. So, and I guess I had to give him as a witness, and I guess the police must have contacted him. I didn't ask when, but I'm presuming they have, because then I got phoned 2 days ago saying that no further action was being taken. Yeah, of course, because they didn't do anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was caught up in that. I got kicked out of the event because the Royal Holloway Student Union didn't care what I had to say. The security guards didn't care what I had to say. No one apart from the police gave a fucking shit about what I had to say regarding what had happened. So I was assaulted, and then I was accused of assault, is what happened.
Why do you think that is? They just took their word for it.
Yeah, they just thought, well, this is the allegation, so we're just going to go with them, must be. You know,
So they
it's just
went
a guy
with-
and his girlfriend.
They went with guilty till proven innocent.
Yeah.
Instead of the way it's supposed to be.
And I get kind of on the grounds of it's a big event and they don't want any shit going wrong. Just fucking get people out. But even after I told them, they didn't listen to my friends even. They didn't care that I was just ejected and told, that's it, you can't come in.
Yeah.
It's campus ground. What do you expect?
So it's
cancer.
fucking bullshit. And
Do you know if he got banned though as well?
No, but I'm
Because-
gonna make sure of it. That's the next thing.
He should have been. Like,
Ruin his life,
if they're going
that's
to
what
ban
I
you,
do.
they should have banned him as well.
Yeah, well. So yeah, I got an email as well saying I was banned from Royal Holloway events for 3 months. Which is just completely ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
For violent conduct. So what? I was attacked and pushed someone off of me quite, lightly. Given what they were doing to me. So yeah, and anyway, the best part is after the crowd had all seen it and got him off of me and his girlfriend, she came back and just started punching me in the back of the head and the face.
Yeah.
Got pictures of that. So if we're feeling extra fucking great, might just put them on the screen for everyone to see.
Yeah. There was an
happened.
eye one. There was
My eye
scratches.
got cut, and yeah, that podcast where I was wearing this shirt that day after, that was after it all. So, and I was really tired because I'd gone home at like 2:30 in the morning and slept on my dad's sofa.
Yeah.
Drove home all the way from my university. So that was like an hour and a half, 2 hours in the car.
Was it the one with Gaius or the one after? Can't remember.
After.
I think it was one
The
after.
second one.
No, it's
Yeah.
the one with, because showed up on the day when we went to Sainsbury's.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Showed up wearing my suits.
Yeah, yeah. But you didn't want to talk about it at
No.
that point.
Yeah, I decided I didn't want to talk about it because it was just
Well, yeah, because it wasn't concluded.
but the story hadn't like ended, and now it has. Go on then. I'll just push it over for him. Oh, and he's straight back in. I'm trying to think if I've got any more great, funny, epic details from it.
It sounds like a grand pussy, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm pretty not happy about it. In my interview, obviously, because I told the story how it happened, I reported a crime, which is that what they did to me. That's actually how it went down. He lied in his statement. He lied through his fucking teeth to the police. He lied to the police.
I don't know how he didn't get done for something, for wasting police time or...
It must just be the fact that he was making the allegation. It's not, I don't know, it's not as if his credibility was under, like, any investigation, whether it was mine. I don't know. I don't really know
Yeah.
how it works.
Just fucked all round. Gives you
have
gives
to
you a lot
get
of
back
faith.
to him,
Yeah.
I guess, and charge him with something.
Yeah. Well, I got a text like a couple hours after my phone call that I got from the officer that interviewed me, just saying, yeah, no further actions being taken following the interview. I had to wait like 2 weeks though to find out. Sorry, he's just staring at me. And just from the victim support charity, saying like, you know, following the crime you reported to the police, would you like to like do anything?
Yeah.
I hadn't decided really. I've got like 6 weeks to decide, so
Yes. You should.
You
Ruin
change-
his life. Just ruin his life.
You
That's all.
think Ruben should?
yeah.
Yeah, ruin his life. He's a fucking little privileged little prick. Just
Well,
fuck his
I
life.
don't know anything about him.
What do you think, Jim?
So
He's privileged. He is.
If
Very
in your
good.
position, Jim, would
I
you
mean, I know
try
his name,
and
but I'm not going to say it. So
would you try and get
Probably
revenge
Richard.
on this boy for fucking
I
wasting
feel
your
like-
time and causing a lot of stress?
The thing, I feel like the whole scenario could not happen to me
Why not?
because like I'm not threatening in any way.
Neither.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
but yeah, he described me as muscled, which was nice.
I
I just
the
think
fact that
I'm
you're so tall.
quite round and plump in the middle at the moment. Not quite muscled, but
It's that thing where
I'll take it.
it's easy to spin the 6'3" mixed race guy
mhm.
Yeah, attacking my girlfriend.
attacking the tiny little white girl. Do you know what I
But
mean?
like a 5'7" white boy with long hair. Like, I'm just gonna. I just walk in. They be like, "Oh no, he didn't do nothing." And even if he did,
Do you think it really is that bad? Do you really think that
No.
the first thing they see is what they go on?
What, the police?
Yeah.
No, because
No.
when I went to the interview, they were really just like
Security then.
Well, security can get fucked. I'm so fucking angry at Raw Holloway's like, you know, venues and
Yeah.
student union and security. I'm so fucking angry at them.
So I think I said to you, what's stopping, like, if you're just in a bad mood, you pointing at someone
Yeah,
and
just
saying they just did blank to me.
Max,
If, like, there's no repercussions for it. And,
Minagi.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, yeah,
there's
it's
no- there's no
complete
stopping.
nonsense.
That's what people abuse in other countries. America, specifically.
America? What are you on about?
Well, yeah, just people just start filing lawsuits against each other, just lying.
Yeah.
Better Call Saul.
Yep.
Just the best, that TV show.
It's the best TV show since Breaking Bad.
It's the best TV show. It's the best TV show. I fucking love it so much. I'm trying to think any more. So, you know, you've obviously heard that I could perhaps report the. You'll have seen the pictures by this point because we'll have put them in. And you can decide whether I should. You know, I want to hear other people's opinions. Maybe they think I should report the crime. Just go away.
Yeah.
You're not having that toy. Go. Go.
Tell him
Go.
to lie down, and he should lie down.
Lie down.
Max, lie down.
Aww.
Good boy. Very good, you obese little fuck.
boy.
Look how thick he is. Look at that thick ass, dude.
Would you roast his toasty?
What does he mean?
So what you got to say on that one, Ruben? Just a waste of everyone's time because of just one asshole.
Wasted a bunch of money in petrol. as well.
How much
Yeah.
do you think like how often do you think the cops have to deal with shit like that?
All the time.
Well,
Especially in London.
the thing is, like, when there's just like a stupid fight incident, not that I actually did anything or instigated anything
Yeah.
whatsoever, I was just assaulted. It's weird to say that. I was assaulted.
Mm-hmm.
Me, assaulted.
Yeah.
I assault you regularly.
Usually, because like my friend who was with me, he asked security, "Is this going to go anywhere? Do you think?" And he said, "Probably not. The police have better things to do on a Friday night." But they had to follow it up because this fucking twat had decided that he was going to lie to them. God, it's when
What
I start
exactly did he
talking
say?
about it.
What did he exactly lie about? What did he say?
Well, he just said that his version of events, like the bits that are relevant to me, because in the interview the police tell you bits of the statement and stuff, and the bits relevant to like what happened to me. It was just that I'd bumped into his girlfriend. This is in the fucking pit. This is in the crowd, in the audience of Chase and Status just coming on stage. So of course people are going to be like moving around and stuff. Of course people are going to get bumped into. I bump into her. I turn around, and he says, "What are you doing?" And then I raise a bottle at the neck a champagne bottle. He described it as a full-size champagne bottle, and hit him over the head with it 3 times. Twice on the top of the head. The third time it hitting him in the eye, like sort of here. Which is obviously complete fucking nonsense.
Well,
Yeah.
the 2 hits would instantly be unconscious on the floor.
Yeah.
If I'd done that to anyone,
Severe damage, and the eye would cut.
If anyone did that to someone, you would be like so fucking.
I mean, and then he goes on. He describes
Yeah.
me as being 6'2" and muscled as well. Really, just laying it on thick. I ain't muscled. I'm cultivating mass.
Yeah, quite ridiculous.
Yeah.
He dug his own grave with that one.
So
Maybe if he wasn't such a fucking moron, he
Yeah.
could have like spun it in such a way and
Which
made
would
him
have been
sort of
awful.
win. Yeah, but luckily he's a fucking idiot. Stupid fucking moron.
But I had my friend who saw it, who they had my witness, just to like say no.
Doesn't it piss you off that that's the kind of shit the police have to waste their time
Yeah.
on? Just trivial shit like that.
Yeah, and then they can't go over people who burgle houses because they can't. They don't have enough time.
Yeah, they don't have enough
They
time.
can deal
or-
with some stupid fucking privileged white kid.
They already have no money at all, no resources. And this is the kind of shit they just legally have to deal with.
So yeah, I don't know if I've got anything else. That's why I was really tired that one podcast. I probably looked like I wanted to die.
Yeah.
But that's over now, so
It certainly is over. And is the topic over?
unless I've forgotten anything really epic.
I'm pretty sure that's most
yeah,
of it.
that is it, yeah.
There you go, it's out there now.
Little anecdote. I resent everything that summer ball means so much that my suit that I wore to it is just in a bundle on the floor because I don't fucking care about it anymore because it
Really?
represents an awful, awful ordeal.
Now get those off him, James.
Yeah, I was trying to my hallway. I'm trying to flick the slobber everywhere.
That is gross. That is just so gross.
Oh no, liquids from the mouth.
James.
Gross.
What is your subject?
The political state of Bosnia.
Jim, what is your subject?
Did you know yesterday was the fucking hottest day in June in England since 1976?
Really?
Yeah,
Yesterday?
yesterday.
It was 31.
It was mad.
It was like 31.
They
like,
measured in Heathrow. It was like 37 or something, 36,
That's
which is the
fucking
hottest.
horrible.
So anyway, what is the perfect temperature and/or weather?
Rainy and windy. Can't be that
A
weather.
little bit, warm. A little bit breezy though as well.
You see, I think it's like a multi-layered
depends,
question.
it
Right now,
depends.
I'd say like snow.
I
I'd
don't
love
know.
to just go and lay down naked in some snow.
I don't think you would, because
I'd
watch out,
absolutely.
boss. Might catch hypothermia. Yeah, we made it about Metal Gear. Fuck you, Alex. Fuck you. This is Metal Gear Solid Cast. Anyway, carry on.
My perfect day would be, it starts sunny and nice, not too hot though, not fucking 30 degrees.
Yeah.
No, but
Then-
you can't beat heat in the morning. Heat is best in the early morning because they're still chilling here. It's just
With a
nice.
breeze, yeah. And then there needs to be some rain in there too.
Do you think?
Yeah,
What's the
I love
problem is,
rain.
If some
At
the
nighttime.
better question is, what's your perfect
nighttime.
week? Well, different times for different weather. Because sometimes I like just sitting indoors all day and it's raining.
Yeah.
Sometimes nice.
I do like that vibe,
Just playing some fucking
but I love
video
barbecues
games.
as well.
But then I like to sit outside and have a
Like-
beer.
yeah,
I don't like doing that.
20. I think like 24 degrees is
That's pretty comfy.
sunny.
The problem is, if we had
and-
let's say we had 30 degrees every day for a month, we'd get used to it and it'd be fine.
Yeah,
But I
it's
mean,
just 'cause
if
we're
we
so
had 30 degrees
unclimatized.
every day for a month, our houses would probably have AC.
Yeah. So
Like-
they're fine.
So the reason it hits so hard for us is because like
We don't do that.
we have this range of temperatures. Like in
And
Australia.
the only thing we're really ready for is cold, because we can just turn the heating on.
yeah.
And even then, we're shit for it in terms of, the roads, the paths. They just get all icy and no one knows what to do.
But like in Australia, yesterday would have been like.
This is pretty chilly.
Yeah. But you just be in your house with your AC on kind of low, just chilling out in your swimming pool. But here it's like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, it was too
I
much.
think I'm gonna die.
It was horrible.
I actually had a fan on yesterday for the first time, like during the night, and it was fucking incredible.
For the first time.
Yeah, I don't
I've had it
have a
on
fan.
for the past like 5 nights.
I just have the window open.
I
But
have the
one
window
time-
open and the fan, and it still.
I
woke
can't
up
have
with-
a fan.
I woke up at like 4
So.
because my hay fever was really bad. Because I get hay fever. And I was like, just involuntarily while unconscious, I'd been itching the roof of my mouth and my tongue. Anyone that has hay fever, they'll know about the itchy fucking roof of your mouth shit. Sucks. Or your itchy throat. And I just woke myself up doing that. So I was awake, and then the birds were singing and shit, and they were really fucking going for it that morning. I wanted to kill them. I was just like, fuck birds, alright, fuck them. They're the worst. And
Fuck birds.
so I had to shut the windows, and I was thinking, I'm going to die. What the fuck am I going to do? And I opened the door, and I had to, and you know, my story just is fuck hay fever and fuck birds is the point. Okay.
The thing is, if you have a
Ah.
window open, you need to have a door open too. You need
I
the
don't.
circulation. Otherwise, it's pointless.
I always keep my door closed and have the window open.
No, because then you got like a vacuum situation going on.
Yeah, but it's either that or the person's gonna walk past my bed and see me like naked laying in bed. It's like I'm not gonna win in any situation.
Do you sleep
Yeah,
in bed
dude,
naked
if I see
without
my
a
door
duvet or
open-
something?
What if a dog comes in and fucking just sits on my face and I suffocate? We're alright. It's not buckled yet.
It's
I was
really
gonna
windy.
make a
Oh,
joke
Mac,
about
I mean,
it's better.
It really
if it
scared
was a
him.
woman
Dog.
instead of a dog. But
He's not used to this city life.
what's up, Scooby-Doo? We're coming after you.
There's nothing
Gotta solve
there's
that
nothing wrong
mystery.
with being
I see you,
suffocated
Scooby-Doo. Why do I
by
know all
someone
the words
sitting
to
on
that?
your
I don't
face.
even really care about Scooby-Doo, but I know all the words to the fucking theme song. You know, when you were a kid and you watched like kids TV after school and shit, the whole time it would be like, I hate all this shit with humans in. I just want to watch a cartoon. Just give me cartoons. Give me SpongeBob, whatever. And I'd even watch cartoons I didn't really like that much, just because it beat watching the
Beat
terribly
My Parents
acted.
Are Aliens.
Yeah.
Fuck that shit.
I didn't even hate like the original My Parents Are Aliens when they had, you know, the original sort of cast and stuff. No, I didn't hate that too much because then they had like a new one with new people and it was just the worst. It was so fucking terrible.
What about My Pet Alien?
I
Let's
like
play
that
the
one.
intro.
My pet alien. My pet alien.
Do you know what I did when I got home when I was a kid? I went home and watched Top Gear and played racing games.
James, can you move your head to the left? So, I think it's my turn.
Yeah.
My pet. Okay, so
What's up, Scooby-Doo? We're coming
we've got 2 serious topics today then.
Oh, no.
Ruben's one about being fucking assaulted and my one. I wasn't here last week, I was away. Where was I? I was in Wales. I sent a tweet out. Who says that? I sent a tweet. I tweeted that I was going to be away for a few days. I said 5 days, but I think it ended up being 6.
It was 6.
And basically, it's so ridiculous. I have to give some context because it is so ridiculous. It is like so ridiculous that I don't think people will fully believe some of the details
Well, I can back you up.
existing. Yeah,
Well, why
yeah.
the fuck would you even lie? What would be your fucking motivation to
Well, there are
lie?
some
Funny
YouTubers that are like
stories?
are storytellers, for example, and they
Alright,
just
it's-
lie about their
yeah, well,
stories that didn't happen.
You've never done that.
I went to a bar and I picked up a chick and I fucked her.
Did that happen? in
Where did you
Wales?
fuck her? Where? What location?
In the bar.
In my bed.
But then what location of her did you fuck?
The
Her
belly
titties.
button.
Were they tig or bitties?
So, I was in Wales. An incredibly isolated, desolate part of Wales. If you don't know where Wales is, search Wales.
Their
UK.
language is really confusing.
Spelled
Main character of Radio
W-A-L-E-S.
Chaos.
Yeah, Wales.
Billy and his brother Benny are both from Wales.
Why did I go there? Well, my granddad lived there with his wife called Liz. They are both alcoholics. Really bad alcoholics,
Sorry,
the pair of
man.
them. One of them worse than the other, Liz. So the reason we had to go down there is because Grandpa's like 70 something. And
He's
Liz.
really old, isn't he? He's
Well,
like
Liz is 11 years younger than him.
Mm-hmm.
And they're both so fucked they couldn't do anything by themselves, as in they couldn't make themselves food, really. They couldn't go to the supermarket. Just things you do on a day-to-day basis without even thinking about it. They couldn't really do any of those things. And on top of that, my grandpa had fallen over 3 weeks prior and broken his hip, so he was even less useful in terms of mobility and stuff he could do. So he needs assistance at all times for everything at the moment. So we went down there just to, when I say we, me and my mum went down there to just help out for a bit. And it's the angriest I've ever been, probably. It was the most depressing fucking shit you've ever seen. The extent to the way alcoholism can fucking affect someone. Talking about Liz specifically. My granddad is married to this woman, Liz. She's not my grandma. He broke up with my grandma.
Divorced.
And
Broke up with her.
yeah, he did.
They were dating a couple of years.
Well, my grandma left my grandpa. Then he married Liz, and went and lived in Wales, away from his 4 children and 8 grandchildren, in complete isolation. Like 4 hours drive away from everyone.
Well, he didn't have all the grandchildren at that point. It was like just you and me.
Well, the point is he stayed there away from his whole family. So Liz, let's start with Liz, I would say, severe alcoholic.
She's a walking advertisement for like.
Yeah, she's the kind of. I would have thought she's in the top 5% of most extreme sort of cases.
Well, yeah, she's the kind of person that like you couldn't show in a movie being an alcoholic because it's too unrealistic.
Yeah, it's so ridiculous. Let me explain to the people out there just what kind of level we're talking about. She has liver failure, so her skin is translucent, her eyes are yellow, her teeth are black. She vomits on herself constantly. She has to wear nappies, and she hasn't washed in over a year.
Or brush her teeth. Hence
Yeah,
the black teeth.
yeah.
That's really disgusting.
And she obviously can't walk, so she would move around with a stroller thing. Would fall over 2 or 3 times a day. Can't stand up on her own. Needs assistance getting up off chairs and stuff. At night, she'd puke all over herself, fucking shit and piss herself all throughout the day. And my granddad, he's an alcoholic, but much more minor compared to that. So he would sleep in bed with her at night in this state, with the stench, the peeing, the vomiting, and whatnot.
And they must have never washed their sheets either, because they only had like.
Well, yeah, until Mum showed up and started fucking basically being the fucking housemaid for a bit while I was there helping out, doing shit. And so, the day before me and my mum showed up to help, Liz had been admitted to hospital, taken there by the ambulance. And she's such a severe alcoholic, she kept saying she wanted to leave, but the people's in the hospital saying, you are really not in a state to leave. And then she said, no, I insist. And they said, okay, if you can walk out of the doors of the hospital on your own, then you can leave. She stands up, collapses, couldn't do it. So they keep her in for a couple of days. The day after, we've been there for 1 day. There's a phone call in the morning. Liz has discharged herself from hospital. She's coming home. Within 15 minutes of coming home, she's on the phone to a taxi company. The taxi company shows up, helps her get into the car, takes her away to the local garage, buys some vodka, comes back, she drinks a whole bottle or whatever. No one can stop her, of course. Like, everyone's trying to say to her, like, you know what you're doing? Like, you're fucking dead. She is dead.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, it's so weird. She's a corpse. A Walking Dead person. It's so fucked.
She's gonna be the one that starts The Walking Dead.
Yeah, it is like that. She's like a fucking zombie, and she's completely deluded. She has what's called alcoholic dementia. She has no clue what the fuck's going on. And it makes you aggressive. It makes you, cause she was so horrible to Grandpa. She just insult him all the time. She would punch his like wound and stuff. From his operation he just had, and my granddad was in such a state. He was like considering calling the police and all this shit. But yeah, it was completely fucked. And it just kept getting worse and worse because it felt like no one was acknowledging the problems or whatever, because the answer to it was this horrible moral quandary my granddad had to sort of decide on, because he'd been married to her for like 25 years, but she's basically dead. She's not the same person she was a long time ago because of what the fucking alcohol's done to her. And she drinks something like 2 bottles of vodka a day. And it got to the point where everyone just had to try and convince him to leave her just by herself. Because, like, once...
It sounds really bleak, but, like...
Yeah, it does. But, like, he was going to die. If he stayed there with her, he would die.
Yeah.
It would kill him. So it was either one person dies or 2.
Mm-hmm.
So...
Well, I mean, she's definitely a lost cause. There's nothing you can do.
Well, it is too late because she has liver failure.
Yeah,
that's going to kill you. And the moment she discharged herself from hospital, the NHS, which is our public health sector, kind of just writes you off. They're not going to offer you any help.
If you're not going to help yourself.
Yeah. If you discharge yourself because you're addicted to alcohol or addicted to anything, they're just like, we don't have time for this, whatever. You discharge yourself, you have capability.
Yeah, which is why.
This is it.
If you're not, this is for what should happen. It's your choice.
So, because even later in the week, she stumbles in and says, "I think I need to go to hospital." Which is like, great. That is where you belong. Yeah. Instead of in piles of fucking sick in rags that you haven't washed in fucking weeks. Like, her pillows in her bed were crusty with sick.
That's disgusting.
And wherever she would sit, she had to have like an incontinence like sheet in case she pissed herself or shit herself to soak it. And it sounds horrible, because it is horrible. But the weird part is I have absolutely no emotional attachment to Liz, because she was always the like weird stand-in.
She's always been an alcoholic since we've known her.
She's always been an alcoholic, but it's gradually got worse and worse.
Yeah, for sure.
And the alcoholism only was at its peak when we were visiting them, because she has autism and some other mental illnesses. She's so fucked. So to deal with the family coming over to see Grandpa, she would drink. That was her like answer to it. And eventually it just became her crutch, like, and it was a complete addiction that just over decades fucked her over. And she's like 70 and she's somehow alive from this. Like, if any of us drank that much in a week, we'd be severely ill. Probably kill us.
She would have like done the perfect thing where she's drank just gradually more and more and more, to the point where she can just drink these ridiculously...
I just want to say something before we carry on any further into the cast. This is like off it. Can you call autism a mental illness? Can you call it that? Because you did say it, and then I just thought, shit.
No, you said autism and other mental illnesses.
Yeah, but the way it sounds, you said autism and other mental illnesses, implying it is one. I'm not sure. Can we
what is it then?
I don't know.
A disorder? I don't know.
Disorder, condition? It just sounds... I don't know. I'm just saying, like...
Someone search that while I continue. Yeah. I don't know.
Fuck it. It'll be fine.
I don't know what level of autism it is, but...
I was just concerned that
there are certain parts about it which I found incredibly morally sort of fucked.
Ambiguous?
And ambiguous. One being how there's absolutely, like, no support for addiction, particularly, from the NHS. Because it is such a moral quandary, and it's like, well, the resources could be used for people that have like broken arms.
Resources there are.
Yeah,
exactly.
Used for the absolutes, haven't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of the sick result of a system.
Like that, you know, when someone who is an alcoholic goes in there and they have something wrong with them, and it is caused by the alcoholism, they'll treat that thing, but that person could be back
unless they say, I don't want to be here, I want to go so I can drink.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, it depends. If someone goes in there and it's like, yeah,
if you're an
surgery 'cause you're gonna
if you're an
die right
alcoholic
now.
and you can stay there and you say I want help
Yeah.
and you don't discharge yourself, they will do everything in their power to at least make you comfortable. But because she discharged herself, like they wanted
do
nothing
anything,
to do with
yeah.
her. But the real thing was, as it went on, it was just like, what the fuck would you do? What choice do you fucking have? But then it got me thinking of like, well, what is the reason this started? Where is the deep-rooted problem? Because it wasn't really the alcohol. It was something before that.
Oh, yeah,
And I
'cause
figured out
people
what it
go
is.
to alcohol to get away from something they don't want to deal with.
Why? I figured out what it was the
What?
thing.
What was it?
Where we were staying was on the farm where she grew up. Liz's family was all there. Her brother, her mother, and her brother's wife. So her whole family.
Okay.
They want nothing to do with her, really. They kind of just check on her out of obligation. Her brother would come every day, and instead of like doing anything helpful, you know, like taking out the rubbish or making a cup of tea or something, he would just shout abuse at her, saying, "What the fuck are you doing?" You know, Welsh accent, obviously. "What are you doing? You haven't learnt a thing, blah, blah, blah." And then he'd just leave, drive his fucking tractor.
They're all sociopaths out there.
That's not an exaggeration. That was the conclusion I came to. It was like,
The people on the farm, not all the Welsh.
no, yeah.
No.
The reason she was so fucked is because of her parents.
Yeah, that
That's always
entire
how it goes.
family. They
No,
just
but it stems from the parents.
yeah, but I mean
her-
their parents
That's always
would
how
have
it
been the
is.
same.
You know, the
Yeah.
parents will just fuck their children
And their
up.
parents
Yeah,
would've been the same, so,
it was
like,
making me feel ill how I think it's her dad's fault a lot, because I was asking Granddad about it, and he was saying how her dad, when she was young, wouldn't even call her by her real name.
Mhm.
He'd just call her the girl. He had no respect for her. He didn't care about her at all, because back then, I guess, if you had a daughter and you owned a farm, you're just not as useful as it would be to have a son. So whatever, you're not important to me, I'm just going to
Well, she
send
was
you
sent
off.
off as a kid to boarding school.
Yeah.
That's like some penguin shit.
Well, and on top of that, her mother is a complete sociopath as well, who displays no empathy whatsoever. She's not 89, and she's fit as a fiddle, which was weird, seeing the contrast of mother and daughter, and the daughter being so fucked, who looks older than her mother, looks like a fucking...
And her mother's 89.
Yeah, 89, can walk around without any assistance, goes for walks around the fucking farm and shit, just stays active. But my mum would fill in, Liz's mum, about what was happening with her alcoholic daughter. And her responses, I was just watching her closely as to how she was reacting. She just didn't care. It was weird. Like, my mum would say, she has liver failure, and would fill in all the specific details of what's wrong with her, whatever. And her response would just be, "Oh, that's a shame. She used to be such a good girl." And then,
so weird.
and
yeah,
then
when you were saying, my favorite is the one that you'll probably go into in a second about like, no, she's gonna die.
yeah, because
serious.
the next day or something, my mum was like talking to her, and she said something like, "So when's she gonna get better?" And my mum was like, "She is going to die. She has months or less because of how fucked she is." No emotion displayed, no reaction.
Guarantee if it was one of the sons, she would have been a state.
That's the fucked thing. But I was thinking, like, if I was a parent,
China.
if I was a parent,
Yeah.
can you imagine how distressed you'd be if, as a parent, one of your children was an alcoholic
Yeah.
who have drunk themselves into that state to the point where they have to wear fucking nappies, you know? And their skin was yellow, their eyes are yellow, they fucking don't wash, they're just a complete wreck.
But if my kid would never be like that, because they wouldn't grow up where they resort to alcohol.
Yeah, it's the cycle, isn't
Yeah.
it? Where
Yeah.
it's...
From the beginning. you
From
know.
the beginning.
If you
how life
if you
is
have
fucked,
parents who
basically.
care, you're not going to end up in that position, are
No.
you? Necessarily. There are ways in which it
Yeah.
could end up with that.
That's like if something happens through your own experience with life.
Like there's someone else in our family from the other side of the family who, I guess they'd be a second or third cousin twice removed or some shit, was abused as a child by a Catholic priest. His life's just fucked. He's a drug addict. You know, he's suicidal.
What? Us?
Yeah, in our family.
Really?
I'll tell you who it is after.
Yeah.
It's not really important. It's quite far removed in the family tree, but like when I was
Still
younger.
tied to you,
Yeah. But there are things like that can happen that can lead to that point. But a good way for it all to go wrong is by having parents who are just completely fucked from the beginning, like that.
Which is really interesting, really.
Yeah, like, well, I don't know about saying too much, so I don't ever talk about it. My dad was an alcoholic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is a long, long time ago now. So,
Yeah.
you know, he stopped drinking by the time I was like 10. But it is his parents. His dad was fucking just like an asshole.
Yeah.
And wasn't around too much, and when he was, an asshole.
Yeah.
And his mum is just the most despicable piece of work I've ever heard of existing.
Yeah.
So
it's just like destined to happen. Something's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's these fucking people who just should never have had children. There's something about that generation as well, in particular.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, not only did like my dad's parents, have like children, they had 6 children.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What is it about that generation? Was it just the fact that things were so different then? I
It's
don't know.
like there wasn't the social responsibility
Having children,
of like knowing.
yeah. It was just what you did. You just had a child.
But
Yeah.
there wasn't the stuff like you shouldn't drink and
You shouldn't smoke. Like they used to say,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
pint
smoking
of Guinness a
healthy.
day is fucking great for you.
Yeah,
Every
yeah.
day.
Yeah.
Smoke cigarettes. Just
But, like,
smooth
now
them or fix up that problem
Socially,
you got.
drinking is becoming more of a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to that extent at least.
Man smoking and stuff like that.
People just didn't give a shit about anything back then.
Because everything was like so new,
it goes
wasn't
to
it?
things beyond like alcohol and stuff. Like
There was so much rapid advancements in everything around then. Advances, whatever.
But
I think it's a case of when you're born into that shitty environment, it's probably going to really affect you in life. But there's some situations where some people might be strong enough to live a normal life with.
Well, there's
horrible
always
shit.
Once they overcome it, yeah.
Yeah.
It takes a certain like personality
Yeah.
and strength of will to be
Well,
able
like
to
enough knowledge of the fact, like this isn't right.
and self-awareness,
Yeah.
whereas someone like Liz clearly just didn't have the capability to really deal with it in an effective way without a lot of help, but there was no help because she was fucking isolated in this place. My granddad on on his side has the most like amazing family, and he missed out on 25 years of it just to be in fucking the middle of nowhere, and I'm talking the middle of fucking nowhere.
well,
It's just in a field. His house is
family-
literally a log cabin built in a field, and they had no money really because the house was built in a field that they didn't own. So technically, the person who owns the field owns the house.
But that's the thing.
So it's worthless.
How if they haven't got that much money, how the fuck do they buy alcohol? Because alcohol's
Pension.
fucking expensive.
My grandpa was a teacher. He has a really good pension because they actually had really good pensions back then, and she had a pension as well.
The thing, as far as I'm aware, though, his parents were like pretty weird. Grandpa.
I thought grandpa's parents were really good.
Well, I
Yeah.
don't know. I think that might be grandmama.
No, the theory about grandpa is that he's got some personality disorder that was really fucked when he was especially younger.
Oh,
But as he's got older, like he displays empathy and whatnot. It was like living in a really melodramatic drama
yeah,
with my granddad saying stuff like, "I was a much better granddad than I was a dad," and stuff like that. And like him having to leave his wife of 25 years saying "I love you," and her just ignoring him, not saying anything, and then he has to, with his fucking like stroller, walk around and try and get to the car to leave. Just shit like that is so fucked. It's the most fucked thing I've ever had
It's
to witness.
horrible.
Yeah, just horrible experience all round.
But like, how the fuck did our grandmother even end up with him? Because she is.
Because
like,
with that generation, it was normal to marry and have kids by the time you're 23, 25.
The thing is, she's like the healthiest.
Well, that's the thing, yeah.
woman of that
He's
age
full of
I've
guilt
ever
because
seen.
he'd have the best life ever if he hadn't
Yeah.
fucked up with our grandma, who, you know, he made a bunch of terrible mistakes and decisions, basically, and it eventually it came back and bit him in the fucking ass.
Mm-hmm.
God.
Well, not fully, because by
I said to him, it doesn't have to have a bad ending. It could have a happy ending.
Mm-hmm.
You could come and, you know, tell, because he loves telling stories. You could tell your stories to your grandkids, or you can fucking sit and rot in this cabin with your wife who can barely, she didn't interact in any way. She didn't say anything ever. And when she did, it was like something that made no sense. You know? And
Remember, she
God,
once said she danced with a cow.
she'd just say complete bullshit. Like, once she was showing us around the farm,
Mm-hmm.
and there were all these CDs hanging from strings in like the woods.
Yeah.
And I think I point at one and say, "What are all those CDs about?" And she says, "Oh, it's so the pheasants have some entertainment." That's obviously not what it is. It's obviously because
DVD player and
because people do it in their garden. They hang a CD so the light reflects and scares birds away.
Yeah. Well, it's fine.
Yeah.
You do it.
And there was the time she poured ketchup on your head, or tried to.
pour ketchup on my head.
What the fuck?
It's just horrible.
But yeah.
Just horrible.
I was like 6 at that point.
Yeah. It's a kind of
Very,
experience like that's both good and bad in
Mhm.
terms of like,
It teaches you a lot.
yeah, you learn a lot
but
about
you'd
sort of
prefer to
people.
just, like that not existing.
And
anyway.
it's weird because when you're younger, like, you think that your grandfather like just knows everything.
Mhm.
Your grandparents, they're like,
Yeah.
they just got it down. But then, when you're older, you're an adult.
You realise you actually know everything.
Yeah.
Everyone else is wrong.
Yeah, it gives you a whole different perspective, and I learned all these things about him I'd never known before, and make you think about him in a completely different light.
Well,
It's just like,
every single thing I hear about him that I didn't know as a kid, it's like, Jesus Christ.
yeah,
Like, why do any of his kids care about him?
yeah. I said that. I said that to my mum. Like, if I was you, I don't know if I would have bothered with all this.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Like, they go way out of their way.
yeah,
to help him
especially mum.
Well, all of them, like 4-hour journeys, like our
Mhm.
uncle's building a shed for his wood. To keep his wood. And
Yeah.
like, what's he done for them?
Well, that was his thing as well. He has
Well,
this,
it's
he has
just about
this
being a
guilt.
better person than that, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I was
know,
gonna
but,
say.
like,
He was full of this guilt. He kept saying every day, "I feel like I don't deserve this help."
Which makes sense because it's a father's responsibility to look after the kids, not the other way around. Like by the sounds of things, he never looked after his kids, but all the kids have done is look after him.
No, because Granny was so good, she somehow looked after 2 sets of twins by herself,
Unbelievable.
while making him dinner every day,
Lunch.
lunch.
breakfast.
Well, yeah, he just did such cunty things. Like, he worked at a private school. The private school had cooked meals available for lunch.
Mm-hmm.
He turned it down, refused it, and came home just so his wife would make him a lunch. You know? That kind of stuff.
It's bizarre.
It's just fucked. It's just the most fucked thing I've ever seen with my own eyes. It's not. It make, you know that show Bloodline? It's on Netflix.
Yeah.
Where it's like about a family where one thing happened in the past that defines their entire future. It's a similar thing where it's like him being such an asshole in the past, making such bad decisions, has just fucked him for the future.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's about all I have to say to it, I think. Just terrible. Terrible.
Awful.
I definitely say that that's a thing that's a lot more common to happen back then.
Yeah, well, you'd
But the
hope
thing
so.
is, like we're saying with these cycles,
Yeah, the problem
This
is
happens
if
again because
Yeah.
one of the children could easily have just done the same thing as him.
well, yeah,
But
exactly.
they didn't. So.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, like that
there's
family
always-
in Wales.
There's always stuff. Well, there's always stuff that like touches off on you. Like, you know, I'm not a fucking alcoholic, but certainly been affected by it.
Yeah.
My dad. So it just happens. You'd be infected by your parents. So
Yeah. And then you have to make the decision where if you have children,
yeah.
do I repeat the same mistakes, or am I self-aware enough to look back at them and try and be better? Which
Just one example. My dad's dad, my grandfather. I never met him. I think he died before I was even born.
Yeah.
If ever he'd do some kind of like, you know, kind of work with my dad when he was a boy. If my dad didn't know how to do the thing immediately, whatever it is, like physical kind of labor stuff, he didn't know how to do it immediately. He'd just, you know, shout at him. Had no patience or tolerance. Like,
Yeah.
they were like, I'm gonna teach you how to do the thing. Just I expect you to fucking do it.
Mhm.
And if you don't do it, I'm gonna berate you for it, whatever. So then my dad, 35 years later, or whatever, 30 years later, exact same with me when I was like
Yeah.
a boy as well. Exact same shit.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to do a thing immediately, or I wasn't confident doing the thing immediately. And it was just, you know, oh, okay, here we go. Here he is being a prick. Brilliant.
Mhm.
So, just there's one example of just a thing.
It is
that he
weird.
did
It's-
exactly the same way.
Yeah. It's a fascinating sort of result of human
It's
psychology.
learned behavior, isn't it? You just do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a child's mind doesn't understand any of that, so they know if it happens to them.
And then they
can
take
have
the
it.
same shit into
Yeah.
adulthood.
Yeah.
And they just do it.
And repeat it.
And then it takes them until, like, you know, their son is 20 years old. Or,
Mhm.
you know, not to, you know, but to realize, like, to just see all this shit they did wrong and be like, yeah, I fucked that one up, didn't I?
And depending on the level of severity, sometimes it can completely stunt people. You know, like if your parents were such an asshole to the point where like it was so abusive that you just get stunted in a certain way of thinking that leaves you in like in a lack of intelligence, both emotionally and just every sense. So you just repeat the cycle and it just keeps going and going and going until hopefully someone comes in with a bit more sense to try and undo it a little bit. Yeah, it's terrible.
So,
Very.
anything bad happened to you
Somber.
two?
I eat way too much ice cream on a regular basis.
What about you, James?
My eye hurts.
James's eye always hurts.
No, it's getting worse. I don't even know why I wear glasses. It does nothing. I can't see anymore.
But the one... Wait, hang on. Are we going to talk about him?
Oh yeah, I probably should mention.
Yeah, the
why
one saving grace of Alex's whole story is, Max, come over here.
Come here, Max.
Come on, boy.
Come on.
Come on.
Come on.
He's not going to do it. We need to
Here we
bait him
go.
or
Here we
something.
go.
Come here, boy. Yes, come here. Come on. You can do it.
Alex, get him over here. Come on.
What am I supposed to do?
I
You
think
do
he's
something with your
stuck
hand,
between
you
the
listen.
chairs.
Come on, Max.
He's got to go the other way around.
Come on.
There we go.
This is the one good thing about Alex's whole story.
So my granddad and Liz had this golden retriever called Max. He had a horrible life.
Hey, stay here. Just
He
sit
had a
down.
really
Sit
miserable
down.
life because I mentioned they lived in
Sit.
this tiny little
Max,
cabin,
sit.
or live, she does, just in the middle of nowhere. They just smoke all day, so the room is full of smoke. They don't open windows because they
Max,
never
sit
move, so
down.
they get cold easily,
Sit
so it doesn't
down.
get
Sit.
drained out.
Good boy.
And they thought it would be a great idea to get a golden retriever, which is what a brilliant idea. Two elderly people who can barely move get a golden retriever. And not only was he a golden retriever, but he's also the biggest fucking golden retriever you've ever seen in your fucking life. He is huge.
Just gonna give him a...
He is a big boy. And because they were so inept and you know it was so fucked.
He's nice.
What they did was fucking they overfed him. They fed him working dog food, which is full of calories, to compensate for how much work a working dog does.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they need. But he's not a working dog. He just sat around all day getting fat, doing nothing.
So he's a big chubby boy.
He would get so frustrated at points that he would take himself for walks. That's the kind of level it was. He like hadn't been groomed in fucking months or years probably. So when I was there, I was trying to take care of him, grooming him and stuff. He's got lots of matted fur. I need to get
I got up
a professional to look at.
Like maybe 15 minutes ago, I stood up and went to the bathroom. It's because I like stroked behind his ear, and he's got
Yeah.
some matted fur that you haven't managed to get rid of.
Yeah,
So it smells. 'Cause it's like damp.
yeah,
I had to wash my hands because it really smelled terrible.
yeah. Because it's just like dirt that's been there for fucking ages. Because he's not groomed. Because a dog like that needs to be groomed.
He's the shaggiest dog I've
Yeah,
He's so
ever
good.
seen.
and especially because of how hot it's been, he needs a
Yeah.
trim. He needs to be trimmed, and he needs those fucking mats removed because they can actually get like infected and stuff. But I've tried, but they're so like clogged, and they pull his skin when I try and get rid of them. Some of them I managed to get rid of when they were in easy places like the back of his legs and underneath and stuff. But it's right behind his ear, so it probably hurts.
Just give it a good old snip.
Yeah, probably just have to do that. I'm gonna try and get him professionally groomed and like just do everything to get him to sort of a good state. And Argy isn't here because he's in fucking hospital as well. That hit as soon as I came back. He got ill, and he's been at the vet. And they did a bunch of tests on him because he keeps getting ill like every couple months. And they've diagnosed him with, what the fuck was it called again?
Steroid something meningitis.
Steroid responsive meningitis.
Yes.
Which is a autoimmune disease or something.
Steroid responsive as in it responds well.
It responds
to
well to
steroids.
steroids, so he's going to go on steroids for about 5 months, and hopefully that will do something, get rid of it. The pet said he should have a normal life.
The
Said
vet.
the pet.
The vet said he should have a
the next
perfectly
time
normal
he
life.
said he should have it.
So in 6 months he's going to look like one of those insanely muscular dogs.
And he'll have a tiny dick.
Yeah.
He's already got a tiny dick. He's got a tiny corgi dick.
So yeah, that was a lot of pretty heavy topics, to be honest.
Argy is the Asians of dogs.
Brilliant.
Short
that-
legs, short penis.
That's the end of episode 72.
72.
See you on the next.
We're nearing episode 100, everybody.
Can't wait for that special.
Still quite a few weeks away from that.
As in literally 28 weeks away from it. As in it won't be episode like 100 until end of the year.
Yeah, because we
Yeah.
started a few weeks into the 2016.
Alright, boys.
Alright, so that.
What's up, guys? It's your boys, Jack and Jeff. And
That's what it's always been.
No, it hasn't. He's only been that for like 3 weeks. Fucking damn it, fuck you. I put you in charge.
Wash your ass.